I want to make it snow, so let's make it. I'm starting with a function mouse pressed, and basically I want each time I'm clicking on the screen, for instance, I want to draw an emoji. First of all, let me show you what I want to build. Text, an emoji, which is snowflake, this guy, that coordinates mouse X and mouse Y, something like that. So if I'll do this thing right now, oh, the snowflake is very, very tiny. Let's increase the size. 60. Yep, we have some snowflakes, which are actually emojis. So let me take this guy in a constant, because the editor sometimes misbehave when I'm using it. Let or const snowflake equal this, and now I can basically just don't use that one, but use the constant. Yeah, like that. But I don't want to just leave the snowflakes there on the screen. I want them to fall. So in order to do that, what I'm gonna do, each time I'm clicking on the screen, I'm gonna place them in an array, and then inside the loop function, I'm looping through the array and make all the elements go down it a little bit. All right, so that will be the logic here. So let's have an array. Let snowflakes. It's an empty array. We'll also have a function loop that basically we're gonna loop through this array and display them. So for each snowflake, for each element of snowflakes, what we're gonna do, we're gonna display it basically. So let's take it in a separate function display. So we are looping through all of this, and for each of them we're gonna do something that it says it's similar to this one. We display what the all right, so what do we need? Let's think, what do we need to store for each snowflake? We need to store the X and Y position first of all. That will be the most important one. Yeah, let's store just the X and Y position for now. So basically in each of these arrays will be sub-arrays with an X and Y, basically like these numbers, like that, right? So we store X and Y positions inside this array. So because we do this one, we are going here and we are displaying snowflakes at element of 0 being X and element of 1 being the Y, right? So when we press the mouse, we actually inside the snowflakes array, we are adding the last element and sub-array, which is mouse X and mouse Y, right? So when we press the mouse, we push, and then this guy is displaying them constantly. Let's clear the screen and call this function. So supposedly should be the same effect as before, right? But the logic is different. Basically mouse press is not displaying anything, but rather is pushing in this array. And then this array is scanned really, really quickly and then displayed. So all we have to do now is create another function. Perhaps we should name it update. That will also cycle through all these elements in the array. Let's invoke it after we display it, and we'll make them go down a little bit, right? So yeah, this time let's use a for with an index, and more than that, let's loop the array backwards, because once the snowflakes will go outside of the screen, we want to remove them. So let's start an I that is going from, what is the variable name? Snowflakes. From snowflakes dot length -1. This is the last element. I greater or equal than 0. I minus minus. So we are looping to the array in the inverse order, and now it's an element of the array will be basically snowflakes of I, right? So that will be the element, X and Y position. So what we have to do right now, we have to go element Y. This will be Y minus minus. Are we correct? We are correct, but they fly in the different direction. So it's plus plus. So Y EL1. So until here is basically the this is the EL of 0 we store the X, and in EL of 1 we store the Y coordinate. So we are basically increasing that the value of that one. So this one is EL plus plus is similar to saying again EL1 plus 1. It's the same. So basically we are putting inside EL of 1 these guys here, right? So now they flow in the correct direction. So that is fine. But yeah, that is fine. I can put plus plus here. It's a short notation. You can get used to this one. But now let's do one more thing here. We can check if EL of 1 is bigger than 600. What we can do, we can remove it. So we can have the snowflakes array, basically. That's the way to invoke it on the array. We call the splice method at index I, and we'll remove just one, right? So let's see. Once they go outside, the program should not crash. It's not crashing, but how can we know if we have the right elements? So let's go here and let's put a small text here in the top left corner. Let's display how many elements do we have in this array. So in this element, we're gonna display the length of the array, perhaps at these coordinates, right? And text size, let's make it 12, something like that. Let's run it. Is 0 because once we click we have 1, 2, 3. So we add it in the array. Let's see if the number gets down once the snowflakes disappear. 2, 1, 0. Right. So the splice is also working correctly. It would have been a shame if that splice wouldn't work correctly, because we would have created kind of a memory issue. The memory would have grown and grown and would have a what is called a memory leak. And we didn't know where the memory is going. Probably wouldn't notice in this small program, but in bigger applications you definitely can notice. So let this know. Now what we can do, we can also assign, in the moment we create a snowflake, we can assign basically a certain speed. So let's do that really quick, just really quick, and we'll have to close for today. So when we are adding an element, we are recording the coordinate X and Y. And let's record also the speed, and for this one will be a random number between 1 and perhaps 3 or 5. That will be the speed. So now we are not increasing by 1, but we are actually increasing by element of 3. So 0, 1, oh, of 2, right? 0 is in this array, we have 0, index 1, index 2. So we are increasing the Y position by the value in the other element. So let's see how it looks like. These are so fast. Let's make a random between 1 and 3. Now see, some are faster than the others. Let this know. I'm clicking here. Let me see if I can give them a different color. And basically we are almost done with the program. Let's see if I can have a fill of blue. Blue? Snowflakes are blue? No? Yeah, they are blue, but you know what? No, let's let's pick a winter theme. Perhaps this one, winter night. Let's pick a winter night here. And now let's make them white, because white will be able to see them better. Where is that blue? Where I put the blue? Blue here. All right. Let's trim them by white, and let's have no stroke, just like that. Stroke. I think will look nicer with no stroke. Yep. Let this know. And all this was achieved using simple arrays. Arrays are very useful, right? We can use in plenty of games and applications. Happy coding!